Hi there, and welcome back from Carly at the Herbothecary. It's been a long time since I've done a video, other than a couple of short crochet ones. Last time you saw me in the Herbothecary garden was about this time last year, and I was excited and enthused because the caravan was gone, and so were a couple of, one other main thing. So I wasn't getting told off for being in the garden, which was awesome. However, the year didn't really go that well. Shortly after that video, my brother became really ill, and I was spending a lot of time with him, so nothing happened in the garden. And then he passed away at the end of summer. So, long story shortish, I haven't really been home since I've been staying with family. My place is full of his stuff, so you know, every bed's covered. It hasn't really been suitable for anyone to stay here, like the kids and stuff, and I didn't really want to be on my own. So anyways, place has been neglected as heck. I also have a rather large new planter, which I'll show you in a second. Not really a conventional. So that's, you know, caused a lot of issues, and I've only really been back at mine for a few days now, and the weather's been absolutely rubbish. So I've got a few bits done, but most of my garden is unusable. So I'll take you outside, show you what is actually going on at the moment. Remember, I haven't really been here, so the seeds that I have started, a lot of them died because I wasn't here to water them, so I've had to start a new batch. But let's go have a look, and then we'll come back afterwards, because there's a couple of things in that garden that I'll show you that I want to sort out today, because the weather's rubbish and I can't find the get up and go to go through any more of his stuff today, or even sort my stuff that I brought back from where I've been staying with family. So I'm going to get myself mucky today, I think. But it's so horrible outside. The conservatory is flooded. My greenhouse, I'll show you, I made a change in there which kind of makes it difficult to work in there. So my front room floor it is. Right, let's take you outside and have a quick look at what's going on, and then I'll meet you back for some planting, potting up scenarios. See you in a minute. So, as I said, is absolutely chucking it down. I haven't been here for more than an hour or so every couple of days. So there's a mess everywhere because said I'm surrounded by my brother's stuff. I'm sorting through boxes and everything, and the boxes are just getting chucked. I am actually using them in the beds, and this is my very expensive planter that is blocking the entire garden. This is my brother's trike. I had hoped to sell it by now, but I've had nothing but grief with it. The pond used to be over here, where the big puddle is, and then the some of my fruit trees were behind it, but see, they're not getting any sun at the moment. So what I am hoping to do is I've moved the pond. The planters are still there, so I've moved the pond and I have to clear this area And what I'm hoping to do, so the pond is now under the tree.
Pond to under the
and
tree.
To be honest, I like it more there. That area, nothing ever grew there except for the currants. And I killed my lavender. I don't know, that one looks like it might come back. But this one is definitely dead, so that I'm gonna have to pull out at some point. I do have this new bed that I put up. It's actually wider than the other ones. This is 3 foot wide. The others are only 2 foot, which is why I put this one central so I can get to both sides of it. So I'm going to hopefully move Latrike, because the sun comes up from behind that huge eucalyptus tree, which drives me insane. So I've moved the fruit trees and stuck them in the middle of that bed so they hopefully get some sun. But as you can see, all of my baby fruit trees are in bloom, I suppose, and there's a little clematis that is trying so hard to come back to life. But what I wanted to do today is I've got a couple of little herbs living within the garden in little things. Everything's coming back to life. Even that's like a purple daisy, I think. I'm not entirely sure what it is, but my tulips have come up even though people keep destroying them. But over there I've got some rosemary that's looking very, very sad in that planter. It's been overtaken by grass and weeds and everything. So today I'm hoping that I can repot those up, clean them up and repot them in something else, as I do have some other herbs indoors. And I bought some compost. But yeah, my plan is basically to hopefully
you're right.
switch the trike up a bit further now that I've moved the pond and everything right up until the extension window. Oh, there my cherry tree. My cherry tree is doing its thing again, and my other cherry tree is doing its thing. It's all coming back, so I really now I just want to get out in my garden again, because more than ever right now I need it. I really do need to get back out there. For my psychological well-being, I really do. I mean, even things like just seeing these tiny buds on my wisteria, you have no idea how happy that makes me. And happiness is in short supply at the moment. My silly little things. I got a new sign, don't piss off the fairies, and my little plant feeder but camera on. I'm gonna pop that by the pond, because I am hoping that I can catch the froggies and bring them back over to the pond, because they're still where the pond was. It's little Blue giving me a hand. So I have been making a little progress indoors. These are some of my more tender plants that I keep on the windowsill so I can keep an eye on them. It's also warm there. We've got the hibiscus, the bird of Africa, I think it's called. It reminds me of home. The lemongrass is basically dead, but I'm living in hope. I don't know what the other one's called, but it's cute. And I've got my pineapple. And then, why can't I remember their name right now? You know what they are, but they were basically dead. So I brought them here and hopefully bring them back to life. Kitchen windowsill, my ginger is sprouting. I will have to move that. It's got sweet peas in. Then I've got some little cuttings started. That's the house plant that I basically killed, but there were some live bits. So I'm hoping that I can root that up again. In the conservatory, it's raining and the conservatory is leaking, so it's a river in there. It is literally flooded. My turmeric died. I'm gonna have to go back to the market and get some more. Then I've got my fruit trees. I've got a lemon, an orange, a lime. There's a Maya lemon in there that's tiny. I got that from a cutting. Then I've got my goji berry and my lime quat. I had some aphid infestation on what I think is another hibiscus. I'm not entirely sure. But I've been using this chili, onion, garlic, and a little bit of dish soap spray on them, and it seems to be working. I did accidentally knock it off the counter and break it and add some more flooding to the conservatory. But here I have some of those herbs I was talking about. I bought this planter this time last year and I've just left it in there. I mean, I have been fertilizing these plants, so it has got some nutrients, but it doesn't look happy and needs potting up. And I've also got this beautiful sage I picked up at the garden center the other day. And my dragon fruit, they're really coming on so well. I started all of these from seed. I killed that, but seeing as that's the eucalyptus, which is like the huge tree that I hate, that's in my neighbor's garden, not such a bad thing. And then I've got these little dragon fruit that they kind of got munched, but they still seem to be doing well despite me like just giving up on them. So I will pop them up later. I think they deserve that at least. In my greenhouse, my mini greenhouse indoors, I have some of the pea shoots that I grow for my son because he absolutely loves them. These have had one chop, so I'm hoping to get another chop out of them. I had started up some more fenugreek because I used to supply one of the local Indian restaurants, but I haven't for a while, just with fresh fenugreek. So I'm hoping to get that started again. As I said, I neglected a lot of seeds, so I've started more up recently. I've got some little tomatoes. I think those are the Marmande coming up, which I'm really excited about. I've got a couple of the little cucumbers coming up as well. Obviously, I'm quite late with everything. But I'm hoping for the best. I've got some cosmos. I'm so excited. I absolutely love cosmos. There's fields and fields of it in South Africa. Down the bottom, we've got the squashes, like watermelons and stuff like that. But those are seeds that I harvested from store-bought ones. Organic store, but still. And they're old. I'm not holding out hope, so I'm going to start another set. Again, the garden, so neglected. In the greenhouse, I wasn't really utilizing the space well. There's the house plants that I basically murdered. Wasn't the right place for them. Strawberries that I saved because the planter on the outside of the greenhouse has collapsed, and I put one of those big beds in here as well. All I need is space to walk across, so I've started loads of leafy greens and some peas and stuff in there. So I'm hoping for an early harvest in there. I wasn't using the space sufficiently. I've got my giant garlic growing in there and some volunteer potatoes, which probably won't be edible, but I'm going to let them do their thing anyways because it's a nice green. And I'm starting more leafy greens in here because even though it is unheated, with the door shut, it is usually like 5 degrees warmer. I couldn't get hay, so I got this sawdust that I'm going to put underneath my strawberries. And that's basically everything that is living, should be living, will be living, ready to go out in the garden soon, I hope. Oh, hay fever attack. So in the garden, I generally like to use earthy tones. With my herbs though, I will bring them in over winter, use them in the kitchen, try to keep them alive. See, these I didn't because I wasn't here to do so. So I'm going to use the white one. It's bigger and I should be able to fit all of these in, and it'll look pretty on my windowsill. So I shall do that instead. These, although the thyme is looking okay in here, it was a planter just plonked on my chocolate mint planter, and the chocolate mint has made its way through. So very important, if you've got mint, give it its own space because it will take everything over. So I am going to pot this, repot it, minus all of the chocolate mint, although I won't let that go to waste. I will use that, possibly in a lip balm. We'll do that later. So for now, I'm just going to pot this up. We've got the thyme here, rosemary here, a very leggy sage, but seeing as I've got a new sage, I might just try to use this one as a cutting and start another one. I don't know, we'll get it out the pot and we'll decide then. So we've got the rosemary, we've got the thyme, I've got the thyme, and I'll go grab the other bits. Let me get rid of this for now. We've also got, in here, we have a mix of cocoa coir, general purpose compost, some perlite. I have another bag of John Inn's multi-purpose peat-free compost to top that up. And because these are all Mediterranean herbs, they like good drainage, so I would treat them generally the same as I would planting up a bed for carrots. And I will add some grit, or I think I have some builder's sand, just to add some extra drainage because they are dry, sun-loving herbs. So let's get rid of this. I'll go grab the other ones, and then we'll start on these ones first because the other ones are just individual. They're not in pots, so they'll just come out and plonk in where we can. So let's see what kind of root mass we're working with these first. All right, 2 seconds. This. Let's grab another bag and try not to make a ginormous mess of the place. Although my blue will give me a hand afterwards, so we're fine there. Oops. I think I'm set on my remote. I am. Oh. Please excuse the sniffing. I realised that I forgot to take my antihistamine today, which explains why 2 minutes out in the garden already has me sneezing and coughing and hacking my guts up. So this stuff in here, what's left over, unfortunately I cannot put this into that new bed because the mint is so vigorous it will just take over my brand new bed. Look at this. Oh, excuse me. Yeah. Ah, oh, look at that for roots. And it keeps going and going and going. All right, we'll pop that aside and I will do something with that. But for now, I just want to get this thyme out of here. Oh, wow. That is quite the root structure. And this isn't all the thyme. There was an oregano in here and a rosemary as well by the looks of it. But they have succumbed to the mint. Look at that. And this pot was just sat on top of that mint. I'm sure, yeah, I showed you in the video. So we're just going to get as much of this off as we can because I really don't want any of those mint roots getting in there. As I said, they will take over. Oh, 2 seconds. I'm gonna blow my nose. Just have to wash my hands first. Okay. Oh, these nails do not help. It's getting to that time of year where I don't bother with my nails anymore because my general nail polish color for this time of year is mock. All right, there we go. That feels good, and I can't see any of those mint roots or sprouts or anything left. So yeah, There we have our thyme. This I'm actually, I don't know what I'll do with this. I might, I don't know. We'll work that out later. Hey, 2 seconds, gonna go wash my hands and blow my nose. Okay. Everyone tells me I should wear gloves, but I don't wanna, so I'm not gonna. I like feeling the muck in my hands. Alright. Let's have a look at you. Now this has just got moss and, oh, I might try say that moss actually. I saw this thing where you put like yogurt, mix it up with yogurt, and then you can paint it onto things and it will make like a moss painting. I might try to do that on my outside walls. I'll have to check my contract first to make sure there's nothing that says you can't do that. Mossify your walls, although I can't see the why. But anyways, best to check. Don't want to wind my landlord up. All right, let's just get you out of there. We are breaking some roots here, but they will survive. And we're making a big blowing mess. Excuse me. It's got some roots, but yeah, we would have snapped quite a few. But it's old enough and big enough and ugly enough that I'm sure it will be just fine. So we have our rosemary there. I am not going to bother trying to save this one, but I have made an absolute mess. Oh well, blue, blue, blue. All right, so we'll pop you there, pop you there. We'll take this out. Ooh, snapped that yesterday, and we'll make some space. Ow. Okay. Sorry about the bang. 2 seconds, let's grab the others. Oh. So, this is the sage I picked up at the garden centre, about 2 weeks ago. Had planned on making a little herb garden at the X's for the kids, but I don't think they'll use it anyway, and obviously things didn't go to plan there. So let's pop you out and see what we're working with. Nice root structure. Now I could split this. There's at least 1, 2, there's about 10, 15 in here. What I think I'll do rather is just give it a trim and take some more cuttings to pop on the windowsill. So yeah, we'll do that now, which will give us, make it a bit smaller, make it easier to work with. See, I don't want to leave these ones too long as their roots are exposed, and I don't want them to dry out, because that would make all of this a waste of time. So let me find my pruners. So quick interlude from future Akali. I ran outside looking for my pruners, and seeing as it stopped raining, I had a quick nose, and I've got purple sprouting broccoli. Now, I have never in my life got to this stage, because it's one of those crops that you planted one year and you don't generally get anything from it until the second year, and I have no patience for that. But this one, because it was neglected, I actually have purple sprouting broccoli. Who knew? So back to the potting up indoors. I only had 1 cutting in here. I will have to get a bigger container, but just so my cuttings don't dry out while I'm doing this. And sure how well you can see it because I haven't zoomed in, but I'm going to take these ones down to their bottom leaves, so I've got this much of a cutting. So we'll go there, there, and there, and maybe one more over here. And I've just left 2 leaves on the bottom. They should bush out. So we'll pop you in there for now. And then you can come off, you can come off, and we'll cut right below at a slant where we just took those leaves off and pop you in the water. And you want to make sure that the leaves aren't actually in the water because they will rot. With most cuttings I would then trim these leaves down, but I don't find the need with sage, especially in this water method, and having them on the kitchen windowsill means I keep them topped up because, you know, every time I do the dishes I check on them, change their water. I only change their water once a week. I completely refresh it, but I keep them topped up constantly. I will definitely need to find something bigger to put those in, because once the roots do come out, there's no way I'm getting it out of there. So we'll pop you aside so we don't spill you. And then we have our sage, our regular sage. We have a variegated sage. There is a little thyme in here, but it's not, well, this thing hasn't had nutrients forever, so autumn hardy patio. Doesn't tell you exactly what the varieties are, but we know that's a variegated sage. That smells less like a curry plant now. Not entirely sure what that is. I thought it was a curry plant, but it grows in a similar way. I don't know. Yeah, we'll chuck it in. And yeah, this can be the height with the rosemary in the middle. And then we'll have the 2 thymes on one side and the 2 sages on the other. And ooh, I forgot you. Let's do you, otherwise you're going to dry out. Okay. Oh. Well, there's no space on my bottle. Sage in the bottle. Great. All right, I'll do that one in a second. So we've got, yeah, what did I just draw? Oh, all right. So let's get this sage out. That's looking healthy enough. We've got some little dry bits here. We'll take off. Plonk you there. You really dry on the bottom. You're dead, so we'll take you off. And you off. I really should just go find my darn pruners. And you are dead, so you can come off. Let's see, trim you down. Just try to get rid of some of this dead. I don't want to be repotting it, sorry, with all this dead on. Give it its best chance. Okay. Yeah. All right, got rid of most of the dead. Oh, so last night, basically the my brother and I loved the Magic Faraway tree growing up, and when I had the kids, he spent ages trying to get a copy of the book, and he did. He finally got one, and it was for the kids, but you know, they didn't really know what it was to get into it. And as I said earlier, he passed away last year, and they made a film, and it came out on Friday, Unfortunately, I couldn't take the kids on Friday because my daughter had dance, and I mean, I could have still taken them because even though it was late, I still took them late last night, but she gets a bit tired after dance, of course, so I decided instead to take them last night. So I took my 11-year-old daughter and her two friends, and we went and watched the Magic Faraway Tree, and it was awesome. I'm so glad I took them. I said I was umming and ahhing. I was gonna go on my own, but they were such good girls, and they went in their jammies and they brought their blankies, and we went to the, I think, 10 to 9 sitting. Yeah, about 10 to 9 because we got out around 11ish. But it was just awesome. We went McDonald's first, got munchies. The lady that worked at the cinema was so cool. She gave, she treated the girls and everything. So no, it was really, really nice. I am so glad. All right, it looks like not only have I put too much coconut oil in here because I had nowhere to put the soaked bricks, but it also looks like it hasn't quite broken down enough. So what I'm going to do is chuck some of this anyways, multi-purpose compost in as well. Actually, rather than chuck it in there and then chuck it in here, I may as well go straight to here. Lovely blue, you have got your work cut out for you later. Well, in about 5 minutes, because I've also got some resin, and I got this really cool big mold for it's, I don't know, like a tile mold. It's massive, this big, 30 by 30, and I am going to make like a tabletop for birds, bird feeder. Not that I don't have enough bird feeders, bird baths, ponds, etc. in my garden. Can never have too many. So I'm going to add some mycorrhizal fungi to this. I'm not going to get into the science of it. What I know is it does help the plant establish better, and better gardeners than me swear by it, so I shall learn from their wisdom. And I believe it needs to touch the roots. That's what it says on the back anyways. So this isn't a huge planter, and I will be fertilizing, and this is a brand new bag of soil, so it does have a few weeks worth of nutrients and stuff in it. They are also, like I said, quite they're sun-loving plants, dry sun-loving plants. They do not like to have wet feet. So I did add a couple, actually, I forgot to say that. This only had like 4 little drainage holes, 1 in each corner. So I have added a couple more, but I've added them slightly up, about 1 inch up, so that it drains from everywhere, really. I don't want it to get boggy. Obviously, it does mean that once I bring it in, watering is going to be a messy business because the water will just drain all over my kitchen counter. So I will have to get some kind of tray to go underneath. Excuse me. Another caveat. Don't advise breathing in the dust of the mycorrhizal fungi. I mean, obviously, I am extremely susceptible, being that I am allergic to everything I love. I'm allergic to house dust, I'm allergic to pet dust, I'm allergic to plants, trees, grass, everything I love. So, yeah, it is what it is. Right, so we decided we're going to go with, let's get all your roots in. Going to go with our 2 tall ones. So I am not sure what this is. I mean, the leaves feel like a curry plant. Don't know. Really don't know. So we've got those two. Now it's not going to be in here forever. I do intend on, I've got the hanging herb garden in the kitchen, but the pots aren't very big. And where they are, strangely, even though they're just above where the ginger and stuff is, I forget to water them. Oh well. Alright, so we've got our normal sage there. I know this is a lot to try and stick in here, but as I said, they are not going to be in here forever. So we've got our variegated sage there in the front. We'll stick our big thyme. Oh, your root ball's too big. Can't take any more off. I'm just gonna have to bury you deeper. Ow, my nails. All right, so that thyme over there, and then we have this lighter. Is this thyme or is it oregano? No, that one's oregano. All right, but it looks like the thyme. It's little, so pop it in there. And then we have our big ones at the back, our little ones at the front, our huge tall ones in the middle. That looks really pretty. We've got our mycorrhizal fungi, a good drainage. So we're just going to top that up with some soil. Oh, sorry. Oh, they really are getting to me. Just going to top it up. Make sure we get in all those little crevices. Trying to work around all that damn cocoa core. Okay, yeah, cocoa core. Oh. I think I'm gonna have to start doubling up on the antihistamines. I'll check the pack first to make sure it's okay. I don't generally take a lot of medications, but this time of year, my inhaler and my antihistamines are an absolute must. Oh, we've got a big pocket over there. Get some more of you in there. Move you a little further back so that the planting tray is actually serving a purpose. Because right there, I was just pouring that onto the plastic. Okay, everything feels nice and tight in there. Our level feels good. And we'll give you a good water in. And then reassess the soil level once everything has dropped down a bit. Could have put you more that way. There looks like there's a big gap there. There, but that should fill in nicely. So here, that's the front. Oh, good thing I did that because I got a big gap at the back. Because that sage's root ball is so massive. That I got from B&M. Yeah, they had a really, well, I say a really good selection of herbs. Not so much. But I will be starting one of those brown planters with the more shade-loving, less heat-tolerant herbs. So basil, parsley, mostly basil and parsley actually. They're the ones I use the most. So I will be doing that brown planter with that in a second with seeds. And then I will also be planting up some more sweet peppers because my kids will literally eat 3 a day each. My eldest loves them stuffed with mushrooms and rice and yeah, she's decided she's vegetarian. We've always eaten a mostly green diet anyways. Very little meat in our diet, but she's no meat now. Eats a lot of fish though, and luckily eats a variety of veg. So she is still getting a balanced diet, just not meat. Yeah, so I'm going to give this a good water in, and then I will be planting some seeds, but I will save that for the next video. And I will save that for the next video, because not only has this one been really, really long, I have about 4 boxes full of seeds, old seeds, new seeds. I said the really, really hot chilies that I've started in the conservatory. Those seeds my brother and I bought like 4 years ago, where we used to breed chilies for my chili sauces and stuff. So I don't have too much faith in the germination, but I will not throw away a packet of seeds. I don't care if they're 50 years old. You never know until you try. So I also give everything at least 4 weeks, because peppers can take ages to germinate. So can a lot of herb seeds like basil. Basil I can never get to germinate, but yeah, it takes a while. So I am excited to see what comes from that. But yeah, I have to. Oh, I got a ladybird. Hey, yeah, you can stay on the plants. Stay on the plants, do your thing. Okay. Oh no, he fell in there. Come here. Oh, another good use for these nails. Yeah, you can go stay on the plant. We want you in the garden. Don't run away. Please don't run away. So yeah, I'm gonna have a big sort out of my seeds, put them all in order, and work out what else I want to start. It is the end of March, like proper end of March. So I need to get a wiggle on, really. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna let this drain through a bit. I'm gonna undo my chaos. Actually, I'm not gonna undo it yet, because I'm still gonna do some seed planting. And then yeah, I'm gonna go play with resin. So there's my little Mediterranean herby planter sorted. I am going to keep this in the conservatory, I think, for now, because it's just far too cold outside. Not that, well, actually, see the time, I am made of confusion. I might give it a day or so in the conservatory at the hottest part, and then move it closer towards the door over the space of a couple of weeks. And by then it will be mid-April and should be warm enough for it to go back outside. I might then move it to the greenhouse and go from there. I don't know. Who knows? But thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Quick walk around my garden. Once I've got the trike either sold, which I'm not putting money on, or further back in front of that window, I will have my garden back mostly. And we'll see if I do end up turning it into a huge planter, because I'm having a hard time parting with it. Yeah, who knows, we'll see. Alright, thanks again. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I can't remember which way it goes. And I'll see you guys back in, hopefully outside in the Herbothecary garden, when that puddle patch is dried up a bit. I'm going to get some boys round to help me mush the trike, and have my garden back. Thanks for watching, guys. See you again soon. Bye.